everybody. I'm not in a very good mood right now, so I thought this would be the perfect time for me to rant about something I really, really hate a lot. Ah! I want to talk to you about Twilight. Nightlight. Nightlight? Twilight. Yes, that one. The abomination to literature. I know that millions and millions and millions of people have already complained about this. I know several people have already, made parodies of it. I know that there is now an official movie saying vampires suck, and actually, I really liked that movie. But, yeah. Twilight. Oh, that series. Like I said, it's an abomination to literature. I don't know what she was thinking. Like, really? Did you know that Twilight was based on a dream she had? She apparently dreamt up the scene where they're in the, woods or whatever, and I was like, okay. If everybody decided to write what they dreamt, that would make for a very strange collection of literature. I never wrote a story about office supplies raining from the sky and then pants exploding on the ground, and then I took control of a bulldozer and ran into a building and had scrims fall on me from a theater company. But it happened in my dreams. What would that be like? That has no interesting plot whatsoever. Office supplies were raining from the sky, and the pencils, they were stabbing my umbrella, and the pants were falling, and if they hit the ground, they exploded, and that would be sad, a world without pants. Or would it? Anyway, Twilight. No. Bad Twilight. Yeah, so, like everyone else in the world has freaking said, Twilight has absolutely no character development. The story is bland, if that. It's full of cliches, and there's just, it's so bad. Like, how do you even, go about, talking about this? So, Bella is the most obnoxious character ever to disease the page of literary history, and she just, why does anyone like her again? She has absolutely no redeeming qualities whatsoever. She just kind of stands there and is like, oh, look at me, I'm so lame. Oh, look at that guy, he looks at me funny. Obviously we should meet. Oh my god. And, Edward just stares at her creepily a lot, and that's somehow attractive, and, I grew up with this.
In every generation, there is a chosen one. She alone will stand against the vampires, the demons, and the forces of darkness. She is the Slayer.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, okay? That's real vampires. I mean, yes, the effects were kind of iffy, but it was the 90s, leave them alone. I mean, good God! Really? I can't believe... Vampires don't sparkle, vampires are not vegetarians, and vampires are not attractive at all in this movie or whatever. I don't know why everyone thinks they're so attractive. I actually think Alice was up. That was in the movie. My friend Yasir has insisted on me commenting on this. Edward at one point rips out the engine from her car or something to prevent her from being unsafe. What? Why? And he decided to comment, that doesn't seem a little bit rapey to you? Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Edward, I know many people have brought this up before, Edward's a stalker, Jake's a pedophile, and Bella's just a waste of space. None of them are any kind of good quality anythings, and I'll never be able to take any of those actors seriously again, not that I did it in the first place, but good God, once you have that attached to your name, you kind of die to some of your fans. Cedric Diggory, what the fuck? Yeah, so, anyway, I've seen, oh god, what's her name, Kristen Stewart, I think, the girl who plays Bella and other stuff, and it's like, I'm acting. You know, I don't really know. She's not good in the movies, but she looks different, at least. I mean, there are some actors who are playing the same role every time, and I mean, she's kind of the same role. I mean, the only other thing I even remember her in was a horrible movie called Zathura, which was trying to rip off Jumanji for a later crowd. Jumanji's an awesome movie, but Zathura, not so much. And she was there for a couple minutes yelling at her brothers, then she gets frozen. So, I mean, there wasn't much acting for her in that movie anyway. But, you know, and apparently this was somehow linked to Mormonism. Apparently Stephenie Meyer is a Mormon, and apparently this has something to do with the values of a Mormon woman in the way that Bella can't exist without a man, and that's kind of a shit thing to teach your kids, or anyone, really, to say, you know, oh, you need a man to complete you. No you don't. I don't believe that at all. I'm trying to make my brain get away from that because, you know, Disney lied to me too, but that's a different story. You all know about that already. And back to the story. Stephenie Meyer, it seems like, I mean, her idea was good in theory until she put it into words. It's like she was dictating to a 9-year-old on a typewriter who didn't know what she was talking about, so simplified it for her. And I mean, the writing style is horrid. I mean, maybe I'm being critical because I'm part English major. Yes, I have many majors. Let's not get into that. But good God, woman, learn to write, or at least have your editors fix it, because that just, I know it's for kids, but at the same time, you're not really for kids once you get to Breaking Dawn, because ew. But I don't know what you're trying to say, and why does everything just suck, and good God. It's a horrible, 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 horrible series. I mean, at the end, it's basically Bella has gotten permission from her parents. The 17-year-old just out of fucking high school decides, I'm gonna get married to Edward. They get married. He gives her the ugliest ring in existence in the movie. And they get married, and she gets pregnant, and the baby's gonna kill her, so Edward has to turn her into a vampire, and then they're like, oh no, the baby is coming out, you have to hurry up, and he, like, basically tears apart her stomach with his teeth, and then she's, like, amazed at herself in the mirror because she's beautiful now because she's a vampire, and I'm just like, okay, you're pretty, like, blah in general. How are they gonna make this person beautiful? Because honestly, I think all of the Cullen family looks pretty ugly in the movie. Except Alice. But I mean, good lord, what? So in the movie, they're just gonna be like, oh, well, Kristen Stewart's beautiful now, brr! So they're gonna make her pale and sparkly? Okay, who cares? That's not really anything special. Sorry. But, yeah, there's really nothing kick-ass about any of these vampires. They're all pansies, and the entire fucking series builds up into this, like, this fight that they're supposed to have at the end of the 4th book, and you go through the whole book with them preparing for the fight and all this other fun stuff. Right? Right? No. Wrong! Because they decide to go through the entire book preparing for this battle, and oh my god, guess what? It doesn't happen. The Volturi come, and they don't do anything. They're like, oh, well, since you've proved that this has happened before, and we haven't killed that other kid, I guess we can make it so it's not doing any damage, so we can let it live. Basically, they thought their daughter was some kind of child vampire or something, and that's against the rules, because vampires have rules now. What? The vampires have a kingdom or something? Volturi who live in Rome. It's weird. I understand the concept, but what? Anyway, like I said, plot holes. It doesn't make sense. Horrible writing. Forgettable characters. No one cares. The people who read it, because everybody's been hyping it up, are then severely disappointed because of how bad it sucks. I will admit that I did not read it until college, so maybe I'm a little bit more critical of it than I would have been if I had read it when it first came out. But however, I think I'm giving it a fair review right now by not going into too much detail. If you thought that was detailed, you're wrong, because I can make it much more detailed, and I'm not going to, because I don't want to waste my time anymore on this. Twilight sucks. The end. Peace. It would make for a very strange collection of literature. I mean, I never wrote a book about, you know, any of my dreams. One day I'll learn to speak. Sorry, I just ate a cheeseburger and 2 hot dogs. I feel like I'm gonna vomit. I mean, I never... Oh my god, I'm losing it again. Okay. And then back. So, I just... it's so bad. Good god. Oh my god, I forgot what I was gonna say. But, I mean, good lord. You're just like, okay, at least there's gonna be a fucking bloody battle at the end. Wrong.